good.
You're
But
here.
you guys look good. Never fear. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find a place I can sit where the light's not in the background too heavy. I got no furniture. I'm gonna sit on the bed because I got 2 lawn chairs and a bed. Those are my choices. Yeah. There, I'm on the bed.
Mayor Beamish,
Hi, hi, hi.
you are now live on YouTube,
Okay.
and you have quorum.
Okay, thank you. And this is a special meeting of council. Call the meeting to order, and I have 4:02 on my phone. And Rebecca, I assume you have an agenda there. It's a one issue thing, kind of an emergency meeting, a special meeting. And thank you all for attending. Councilor Kroll, Councilor Ladwig, Councilor D'Andrade, and Mayor Beamish present, along with staff. And I'm going to let well, first of all, I'll ask for approval of the agenda. And I can't see anybody, so please speak up.
Councillor Kroll.
Councillor Kroll, thank you.
By Councillor Ladwig.
Thank you very much. All in favor of approval of the agenda?
Aye.
Thank you.
All in favor.
Aye. Okay.
Approved.
And then I'll let who's going to carry this report? Amanda or Rebecca?
Manny is going to speak to the report.
Okay, thank you.
Can you? My camera won't turn on, but I'm assuming you can hear me.
Yeah, you're probably in the same stage as I am. You're probably out relaxing or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just relaxing in the office. It's very relaxing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
There you are. Yeah.
Very good. So this was one of the many steps that you've been asked to consider to continue to support to make this work. As we noted in the report, it's the bylaw. Typically, we don't anticipate receiving this type of indemnification.
Yeah.
And just asking for a change there specific to this property. The reality is, the good news is that, it appears the project's going to start. They're going to planning to break ground on Friday. So after these many years, it's good to see that. But hopefully this is the last step here from our end of things. And we will still receive the required funds. Of course, the town is paying its share in terms of the contribution from the housing. So there's no reduction in fees. This is just what we secure those fees with. Typically would be a letter of credit or a check. In this case is a letter of indemnification from BC Housing.
Yeah, and BC Housing, I understand, is doing the same thing with respect to their part of this program. So
yes, they've done that for other projects too, even in town. So not ideal, but it's good.
Well, Council, do you have any questions?
Mayor, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Perhaps I would like Manny to just talk a little bit, because it seems there's some perhaps liability at the site right now with the stormwater issues and neighbors that have been flooded. And my understanding is a portion, perhaps a third of the stormwater ponds were built in Christensen Village, and the other 2/3 was supposed to be where the site is gonna, the development site. And so I would like to understand better.
Okay. This work will help to address the drainage on that site. That site is basically lower than every other site around there. So the water pools in there, and it comes as much from the park. If we, God forbid, took all the trees out, but you see the land from the road, it's lower as you enter the property, and it's higher at the back where the park is, sort of on the west side. So the water runs actually towards the street rather than running towards the park. Now, it also slopes to Sharman, to the townhouses, the complex that's there. When they built above everybody else. So the water that they get is just coming across that site. Now, where those two properties come together it's a swale, and it's part of the SPEA, the Streamside Protection Enhancement Area. And so they have an assessment that we've done with them from Dave Bates that says this has to be maintained and protected. And so the water has to flow through that site, back, making its way to the road. We ourselves, meaning the town of Gibsons, that has been wet since it was a farm. It's always been wet there. In fact, you can even take a machine in there because it's quite soupy. This work will resolve that issue we've had for many years. So right now, this week included, we've been there and we continue to be there to prepare it for the rainy season. And we're working also to identify some more drainage improvements heading towards the park, sort of on the southwest corner, which is probably the worst part. So that we're going to do some works in the next couple of weeks here. But once they take over the site for construction, they rely on those works and they do other work. So they manage the storm on site. And once they start construction, then, once it's completed, we should have a stream that runs through there and either runs to the park or runs down to the road. And you shouldn't have that issue there.
And I wasn't aware that there had been flooding from that site. Would that be onto the townhouses then?
Onto the townhouses. It has for a long time. Those townhouses have perimeter drainage and stuff.
Right.
It doesn't help that most of those townhouses, they dump their clippings right over the fence, and it blocks between that and invasives and trees that grow in there quite fast. We're talking about small stuff because it's so wet. So it's it's not a great area for anything in particular other than creating a sort of a wet situation for
right
the back of those lots.
Okay.
Nothing that can be resolved, and it's designed to be improved, but they have to start the work to do the long-term fix there.
I assume though that the whole area there, including the townhouses, would have had that same water problem at one point.
I'm sorry, can you say that again, Mr. Mayor?
I assume that given the nature of that whole area, including the townhouses, they would also have had to deal with water at one point. Yeah.
If you look at when they built those townhouses, their stormwater system, it's equivalent to a lot of our streets. They had to put quite a bit.
Right.
And but it's resolvable, I would say.
Good. Are there any other questions, Council?
I have another question.
Go ahead.
So have they presented a stormwater management plan?
Yes.
Okay, so by obviously, I'm assuming is a reliable firm expert in stormwater management, because I know this is not a small stormwater management issue. This requires a lot of understanding, right? And
so we've had Dave Bates, we've had their engineer from New Commons, the folks that. And also we've had Urban Systems and our staff look at it. So it's been reviewed, and there's also a geotech report. So building departments, public works, engineering, our engineers, their engineers, they've all looked at it.
Okay, so the approval has already taken place.
Yes.
Okay.
They are submitting a bit more design on where they're going to connect their water service and their additional drainage, because Mayor, I think, you yourself on your introduction today, you were saying the pond was built at Christensen land, and other ponds were to be built on that site.
Mm-hmm.
They're just dealing with it in a design, so they're dealing with it now. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there, but it is engineered for that.
Sorry, May, can I follow up with another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so would there be more stormwater ponds, and where would they be? If
I don't see stormwater ponds there. I think everything running to the Spear at the bottom there, and then running from there. So every property is required to discharge at the same rates pre-construction, after construction. So there
Okay.
shouldn't be any more water coming out of that site that there was before they constructed. And for that, they have to build retention on site for that. And from what we've seen, that's what they're building, is to meet that objective, plus the spear objectives as well from a habitat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Other questions, council?
I just have one quick one, sir.
Go ahead, Councilor Kroll.
To you, Mayor Beamish. I would assume, Manny, that once the larger pond behind the pool goes in, that because of the depth of that pond, it would logically possibly reduce the water table in that area, which might help to alleviate a lot of the problems. Would that be a reasonable assumption?
I don't want to call it unreasonable, but I don't have enough to say that that's what's going to happen. The pond being built behind the pool is primarily to receive what
Yeah.
comes north from, as it comes across the town from that direction. One thing that we did note is sort of from Christensen lands to the water that comes from their parking lot, for example, that sort of travels. The water right now falls on that O'Shea Road, that pathway that we have, and it all sort of collects a lot of that water, and it ends up in that lot. We're reshaping that road in the next couple of weeks to avoid having, we ourselves are throwing in excess water onto the site from a surface running perspective. How the hydrology works there, because of the water tables are quite high up there. We know that from the well 6, and we also know from their own geotech there. So it's a wet-ish area, but the additional ponds won't necessarily solve that, but it's certainly not going to make things worse.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, council, we have some recommendations. Does anybody wish to move the recommendations? Councilor Kroll, seconded by, and I can't see everybody.
Councilor Ledwig.
Councilor Ledwig, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's really good to see this project going ahead, and I think that this is not an unusual request in terms of ability of somebody to kind of put up money. So the indemnity is something I think that we should be able to live with on this project. That this is one of those projects that actually is on our property, and should it not go ahead, I think it firstly reverts to BC Housing to try to make a go of it, and then it comes back to us anyway. So I think so. It's not. We have a certain amount of insurance on this project in the long term anyway.
Mhm.
So seeing no further questions, I'll call the question. Please indicate verbally for me. All in favor?
Aye.
In favor?
In favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, then the recommendations are approved. And thank you, staff, for that. I think it's really good to see this project going ahead. I'm sorry I'm not going to be here to see the official dirt digging or groundbreaking or ribbon cutting or whatever is going to be done, but I'm sure you guys will be part of that, and that's great. So no further business. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Councilor, who's it? Councilor Kroll, moved by, seconded by?
Councilor Ledwig again, her last one.
Councilor Ledwig, okay. That's your last chance to adjourn something, Councilor Ledwig. Okay.
Right to the last minute. Yeah.
That's right. All in favor?
In favor.
In favor.
Thank you very much. And thanks, everybody. I mean, this is what we said. We would be prepared and available for special meetings, and we are. And we may keep on doing that. So I am going to turn my laptop in probably tomorrow, but we'll get that done too. So
Mayor, can I just, I guess, a question? Manny, can you just confirm, did you say Friday? It's when this Friday, are they starting the project?
This Friday they came in to give us a great big letter. rather
Yeah.
than a great big check.
The undertaking. Yeah.
They're picking up the building permit, and what CMHC and through the MP's office, they're working on a date for groundbreaking, and he's likely to be around the first week of November.
Oh, exciting. Okay.
There was an email yesterday that November 7th they were talking about.
Well,
So-
it'll be to the credit of the new council. Yeah. The new mayor just moving things along. Yeah.
Matter of days, stuff is
Good to-
happening. Yes.
Good to see. Yeah.
Well, we got some stuff from them too, right? That we choose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we actually fix it. Exactly. So, okay, guys. Well, thank you very much. We are adjourned.
Okay.
I'll talk to you. And David, I sent you an email. If you have any questions, give me a shout. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks very
Thank
much.
you very much. We'll see you.
Take care.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Everyone.
Night.
Take care.
Nice you guys again.